Do you want to know how to keep calm as a parent? It's hard, isn't it, when they are needing so many things and you're juggling all the pieces and you feel like the stress is rising. I gotta go here, I gotta call this person. Plus, I've gotta make food and get people dressed or handle their needs, and they're not doing what they should, or they're talking back, they're being disrespectful, they're whining, complaining, they're being mean to each other. You know, all these things that happen, and they sometimes compile on top of each other so that it seems like it's all happening in one day. So in this video, what I'd like to help you with is teach you some things that you can do to be a calm parent and get better results in your family, in your relationships, so that the days don't have to be so draining. Because that's really what happens when you're not calm and your endorphins are just firing all day. You've got adrenaline that's pumping through, cortisol, the stress of all of it. It's going to wear you out. You're going to hit midday and go, what am I doing? How do I make it through this day? And that can be really hard. So let me help you with that. No matter the ages of your children, the things that we're going to talk about will work for you. And I know I've put them to the test all over the world, not just with my children and the treatment foster children that I raised, but also in many, many homes and facilities, even workplaces all over the world. So let's talk about how to become a calm parent. So how do you keep calm as a parent? Well, it starts out by having a plan. If you're going to live in the moment as a parent, meaning if you're going to just deal with something when it comes up, well, let's not handle a problem until the problem's there. If that's the way that you're handling your parenting, you will have some struggles. Please keep that in mind. That's when you'll end up falling into power struggles. You'll feel not prepared. You'll end up being a little bit more stressed. So there's an old proverb that says, when ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. And I do believe that that is true. I think that when people are prepared, then they feel more confident going into interactions. They're able to maintain their roles better, which keeps everything more functional in the communication with the children. Definitely have a plan. What does that plan even look like? A plan looks like knowing where you're headed, meaning what is your vision for your family, and how are you going to get there? It looks like the deliberate steps that are planned out so that you can quantify or measure if you're even successfully getting close to where your desired outcome is. Now, this does not mean that learning self-government or being calm is a fixed destination. It is not. In fact, calmness and self-government are more of a journey. It's a path that you're on, not really a fixed point in the future. Even so, I do recommend creating what I call a family vision. I talk about how to do that in my book, Parenting a House United. This is what Parenting a House United looks like. You can find it at teachingselfgovernment.com. It goes into not just details about how to create a family vision, but also just about everything else that we're going to be talking about here today. So you go to teachingselfgovernment.com and you can look in the store. You'll find all kinds of things there. There's a lot of other books too, but that one's kind of the main piece. You've got to have at least that in order to start on the journey for self-government. What is self-government? Because it's a big part of this recipe for calmness. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. You understand cause and effect not just in like your behaviors, if I punch this wall, it'll break my knuckles, you know, but a different type of cause and effect. If I get angry at a person, they will stop trusting me. We will feel detached for a while in our relationship. That recovery period is hard to overcome. It's going to require honesty and humility. And if I don't, the cause and effect of holding on to the lie that I was right and they were wrong and never fixing it, never talking to it, never getting to a place of common ground, will actually end up hurting my relationship for the long term. I will not feel like I am fully connected or know how to relate fully to that person. That's just what happens. It's cause and effect. Parents don't understand that if they are angry at their children stop trusting them and take steps back from them. Children don't understand that if they stop following instructions from their parents or yelling, get angry at their parents, that their parents stop trusting them. They stop letting them do some of the things they want to do. This is a truth of self-government. So when a person learns self-government, it's a step-by-step process of actually fine-tuning yourself, your functioning, your processing bit by bit. So the first thing that you do is you decide, what type of a tone do I want to have? Well, calmness, we've already identified, is one of our tone goals. What is the tone? It's the feeling that we want to carry, right? When a person learns self-government, they have a certain type of a tone and a certain type of a structure. There's a lot of tone elements, ones like acceptance, trust, seeking to understand, love, mercy, consistency, low tolerances. There's a lot of tone elements I could talk about, but the one we're going to focus on most is actually calmness. Okay, so that's my tone element. I want calmness. So now that I know what I want it to feel like, and that's part of my desired plan, then I say, what's my structure that's going to maintain this? See, this is where a lot of people fall apart. They say, I want calmness, and then they go and do the same thing they've been doing all the way along, and they don't get it. And then they decide it must not be possible. And this is because they haven't trained themselves on a new skill. So another one of my tone elements is deliberateness. Okay, so you deliberately train yourself on the skills that you need. So in my books and resources, such as in this book, The Power of Calm, I talk about a 6-step process that a person can go through to help get themselves to a place of calmness. This is going to be really vital for you, by the way, if you're wanting to become a calm parent. You start by assessing the situation for yourself, recognizing that something is happening around you, understanding the types of communication, so that then you can pause, take a little step back, do some self-evaluation, prepare yourself to go forward so that you say just the right thing moving forward. And this integrates very nicely with the skills of self-government that you're going to need to be consistent, to keep your tolerances low, to show that love, mercy, understanding as you're doing that parenting training with your children. Really, that calmness is probably that #1 skill that you need, but it is a skill nonetheless. So that's part of our structure and our tone ultimately. What other types of skills do we need as part of our structure? Well, we need to know how to talk about problems in a way that's non-emotional when problems arise, because they will arise. The toddler will have a tantrum. The teen will start to disconnect or feel like they're going to be autonomous and not bring you into things or have problems with you, maybe an attitude problem. It's going to happen sometime. You need to be prepared for that. So what are the steps to a really good correction? Well, you describe what happened, you explain a rationale of why that wasn't a good thing, you describe what should have happened, doing it in a very non-emotional way. There's ways that you can communicate what happened without talking about your processing and what's going on in you. It needs to be about their self-government. So you're just spelling out the facts for them. Then you tell them what negative consequence they earned. I have recommendations for what work well for negative consequences. Then after that, you practice things the right way. So there's a way to do cued role play practice that actually leads to some good bonding, positive interactions throughout this whole corrective teaching. As they're responding to it, you actually praise them. Now, if they don't respond well to it, don't worry. We've got a plan for that too. It's a whole other skill set that you can learn. But when you learn these steps as they go in order for these skills that you need, it frees you. It helps you become more confident. You have that plan, something to hold on to. Now, in the minute, you've got to deliberately take action. That's probably one of the hardest things. A lot of people who are not calm in their parenting are impulsive. That's just the truth. They just act before thinking. You've got to pause and think. So as soon as anything happens, tell yourself, pause, take a step back. Okay, how am I going to communicate? What skill do I have? What skill do they need? Who am I? Who are they? We might have to ask ourselves that question. We might have to answer, what are our roles? That's a whole other book I have actually about roles. So, and some of these are on audiobooks if you want to find them at my website, teachingselfgovernment.com. How are you going to stop yourself from giving into those impulses? Well, first is you can't be lazy. You've got to have a plan and then actually follow through. You've got to have a way of accounting too for that plan. Not just to remember the steps to the skill, but there needs to be a time where you report to someone or you get a little help along the way. And this is the most exciting part of what I'm going to share with you. So I have something on my website. It's called the TSG Community. There is a teaching self-government app. There's a lot of things there, some free resources that help you get access to audiobooks, stuff like that. For courses, trainings, and to get extra help, there's an app called the TSG Portal. We'll probably merge them all at one point. Right now they're not, they're two separate, but the TSG Portal is a place where you can ask the Nicholeen bot questions, you can ask other people questions, you can do extra skills training on the app where you can have discussion groups with people about the skill sprints that we sent out to you, which are basically classes that I give so you can listen to them and then discuss them with people and then implement them. It really does help you along the way. And every single week I actually have a call, like a Zoom call with everybody who's part of that TSG community. And I answer your questions and we record them all and we send them out to you if you want. I can't mentor everyone around the world all the time, but I can do one group a week, and then my mentors that I train can help. I'm doing some mentoring with these discussion groups and these skill sprints and stuff, and they are truly amazing, actually, truly remarkable. I do think that looking for the TSG community, which you can purchase on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, finding other people that are doing what you're doing can really make a difference, because learning calmness in parenting right now is a total culture shift. People are missing the mark. They're throwing out all kinds of terms like, oh, just be gentle in your parenting or be positive in your parenting. And while those are good ideas to keep in mind, what they're promoting turns into a type of parenting that's very permissive lots of times and doesn't teach the child to take responsibility for themselves, which is absolutely needed if you're going to learn self-government. So it should be beneficial to you, that TSG community. So look at that, see if it's something that might help you. There is another class if you want some more details on how to be a calm parent that I would highly recommend that could help you. The class is called How to Be a Calm Parent. It will talk about the different types of communication so that you don't fall into certain traps. It's going to help you understand calmness, and there's even a free gift in there that you'll want to get. So go to my next video, How to Be a Calm Parent, next. I'll see you there.